Hello, welcome to Sovereign Vision Temple. This is Skyra, and today I'm going to talk about triggers. I'm sure that many of us understand that term in these days of extreme duality and separation and division, where either somebody is projecting on our belief system or somebody is doing something that we don't like or telling us to be a certain way, or we should believe a certain way or think a certain way, or we should act a certain way, or we should be a certain way. It creates a dissonance within ourselves. And I'm speaking to people who are on the awakening path, who have woken up out of the illusion of the physical 3D reality. And so part of this process, the soul awakening, is the awakening of our soul. It's awakening to a return to love. It's a return to source, to God, to divine love. And we are here to transmute the shadows that are present within us, the idealization of separation, the idealization that we are not all one, and to be the embodiment of love. And in order to get to that higher frequency and to live in that, we have to embody our own, or to be able to see it in ourselves so that we don't react and project it back. So triggers are generally something within us that still needs to be seen. So the way that I used to be, like, a lot of us who are very spiritually connected, who really see through the veil and always have, and even in like my situation, where in my childhood, where I felt a deep love for Jesus or for God, and my family made fun of me. I was pretty much made fun of, and lived in a world of PTSD, of not being able to speak my truth, of being completely chastised, I guess you could say. So what happens in those extreme situations is that we harden our heart. We harden our heart to, and we believe that the world is a bad, negative place, and that we start losing trust. And when I was 7, I wrote off God, because I was like, if you're God, if you're really here, then why are you allowing me to experience this? Why do I have to get beat every day? So that was my experience. And so we developed this sense of pride and righteousness, and it's really a protection. It's a protection of our heart. And then it turns into deep frustration and anger and resentment. And because we're carrying that in our heart, we're also projecting out separation and disconnect to the world, where it becomes a place of deep pain. I will talk a lot more about the wound of separation, and going deep and understanding how this dynamic creates pain. And I'm also speaking to those who have turned away from the church because you could see through the discrepancies You could see through that, and you were tired of being told that you were a sinner, and you were tired of feeling shame, as I did. And then it was a long journey home, a 9-year journey to a full like anger and separation and like this rage where I was like trying to be this badass out in the world, you know, to be this warrior, that I was against the world and everything was against me. And really what it was deep pain. So I spent the last I guess it's been 12 years of my life, from the initial trigger, which was my divorce, and that's a much deeper story than just a divorce, but it was a soul wound that it triggered, and that was the wound of separation, the wound that I wasn't wanted. And it took me all those years and to literally come back, because when you are separate from God, or you're separate from divine love and source, it's painful. And I remembered, like I felt it, but I wasn't finding it in church, and I didn't understand, because that's all I knew. That's all I had grown up with. You know, I didn't understand that Jesus is not religion. Jesus was religious creators. Men stole Jesus as their own and twisted the story, and created a lot of shame. And I always questioned myself, like I always questioned, like, why if God was love and Jesus is love and he's this big healer, then why is there so much pain in the world? Why are all the women demonized? Why am I told I'm a sinner and going to hell? And the reason for it is there are many things in this physical existence, many structures that have been in place to create separation and division. And that's so for the purpose of this video, speaking of triggers, we have this deep wounding inside of us. We have a deep separation. We also have this separation from Mother Earth and nature. Our nervous systems are dysregulated. We're in survival mode. This is what commercialism has created in this world, and it's for a purpose, so that we are always constantly in survival. So we get triggered because our nervous systems are dysregulated. So anybody can look at us wrong, and then all of a sudden we go off, or that's why road rage is happening, because of our deep dysregulation, our chasing of things outside of us, more money, more things, and our disconnection from the earth energy, who is our mother. That's our real mother. That's the feminine aspect. And right now in this world, we have no reverence for the mother and Mother Earth. So with the deep dysregulations that we're experiencing and the disconnections and everything and in our own body, we're living in our head and our mind, as opposed to in our heart and our head, our brain, where we need to bring both in. And then we need to feel safe in this world, with our root chakra and with our, with our body. But we've been so trained to be disembodied, to not be present in our body, to live in our head. And so when we experience something that goes against our belief systems, or goes against what we've been led to believe, and that includes religions, then, and a lot of misconceptions and twists on words and misunderstandings between words and people, when we can create a trigger to somebody. Like I might be triggering somebody right now, and what I'm going to ask anybody who's being triggered by what I am speaking about right now is, what is it that's creating this trigger? That's how we transmute. We have to take it within us, bring it back to us, and ask us, where is that coming from? Is that trigger, where is it creating more separation? Are we reacting? Are we reacting from that trigger in the place of anger? Or were we bringing compassion to the person who's triggering us? That is alchemy. That is what we're here to do. We're here to alchemize everything that feels like separation back into unity and back into love. Does that mean that we're allowed to take abuse and we're supposed to take abuse? Absolutely not. We learn boundaries, but we can learn not to be triggered in a way that creates more separation. And I've experienced this. I'm talking deep from my own trigger wounds, my own projections, my own extreme frustration and anger and rage that you can witness on some of my previous videos. When I started seeing through the illusion of religion, which has been many years, but I didn't understand what was going on. And then I was deeply initiated into the Magdalene feminine energy over the last 2 years, and then realized how that has actually created so much separation and division between men and women. And I think my next video is going to be about initiation. It's going to be about initiations and what does that mean. So I'm going to mark that down, so that you'll understand what initiation means. But triggers are meant for us. Triggers are meant for us to look deeply at, and where is it in our, what's happening? Where do we feel that we are always right? And why do we feel that we're always right? I invite you to look at some event in your life where you knew you were right. You knew that what your mind was telling you was correct. You were convinced of it. And then you found out something different. Then you found out that what you believed and what you were conditioned to believe, what you wholeheartedly believed to be true, found out it wasn't the truth. Or there was a different story. So what is the story that we're holding? How is the story that we are bringing into our life? How is it bringing division and separation? And is it something that you can look deeper into? If it's creating so much anger and resentment and frustration within you, where can you seek to find deeper understanding, awareness, so that we can come back to a place of compassion and understanding, and know that we'll never know everything, but we do know one thing, and that we are emanations of the divine, and that our journey here is to come back to love, to open our hearts and come back to be in the energy of love. If you resonate with my channel, I ask that you please subscribe to my channel so that I'm actually trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, because I'm barely being called to do this. This is something that I've been working on for 5 years, to be able to speak and channel this wisdom that's been given to me through my own experiences. And I'm having to follow this calling, whether I sometimes like it or not. It won't leave me. And I feel that this is my divine calling on my life, is to bring these messages. And maybe that's a story, I don't know, but there's something deep inside of me and my soul that feels that that is what I'm here to offer and bring. And so the more subscribers that I do have to this channel, the more people that will see this information, because I'm only here to spread love and truth and unity, and to help people remember, and to help us through the process of transmuting addictions, to do the inner healing work so that we can come back to love for ourselves. And when we can love ourselves, then we can allow ourselves to love others in a way, not the romantic way that we've been given, but in a deep love, a God love that exists within us all and in our heart. So thank you for being here today. Have a beautiful day. Aloha.